In the 1970s, in a small apartment where 2 medical students lived, horrifying events began to unfold. The girls witnessed inanimate objects moving around the apartment on their own. They found strange notes scattered throughout the house, and their friend, who stayed overnight, started experiencing terrifying nightmares. The culmination was an attack on their friend, leaving him with bloody burns on his chest. The culprit of these dreadful events? A rag doll named Annabelle, inhabited by a demon posing as the ghost of a little girl. It all started when a medical school student named Donna received a rag doll as a birthday gift from her mother. Such dolls were very popular in the 1960s-70s, and the girl really liked the present. The doll lay on the bed as a decoration and didn't cause any concern for either Donna or her neighbor, Angie. However, after some time, the girls began to notice that something was clearly amiss with the doll. The doll would end up on Donna's bed, and the girls always felt like it was watching them. Sometimes, this strange feeling escalated into real panic because they started to believe that the doll came to life. The girls felt that the doll was moving around the house on its own. Returning home after classes, they always found it in different and completely unexpected places. Initially, the doll simply changed its position on the bed, but then they started finding it throughout the house. The girls decided they had had enough. Not only was the content of the notes terrifying on its own, but the girls also couldn't understand where the notes in the house were coming from, as neither of them had parchment paper. Donna consulted a medium who soon claimed to have made contact with the spirit of a little girl named Annabelle Higgins. Annabelle once lived in the house that stood where the new apartment complex was built. Annabelle was 7 years old when she died. Donna and Angie were relieved as this situation seemed to resolve, but their friend, Lou, was skeptical. Lou believed that evil was hiding in the doll and it needed to be destroyed. When he stayed overnight at their place, he had nightmares as if Annabelle was attacking him. Lorraine Warren with Annabelle. One evening, Lou and Angie were in the living room, studying maps as they were preparing for a trip to an unfamiliar place the next day. Suddenly, they were drawn to the noise from Donna's room. Fearing it might be a burglar, Lou cautiously approached the bedroom door and burst inside, intending to catch the intruder. However, there was no one in the room except Annabelle. This time she lay sprawled on the floor, as if life had left her. Lou approached the doll to inspect it when suddenly he felt someone standing behind him. He turned, expecting to see Angie, but felt only a sharp burning sensation in his chest. Lou rushed out of the room into the living room and took off his shirt. To his and Angie's surprise, they saw bloody traces of deep scratches on his chest, resembling claw marks. However, upon closer inspection, Lou's wounds looked more like burns. Lou had clearly been attacked by some invisible entity. Now they were all convinced that an evil entity had possessed the doll, and Donna turned to psychics again. Help came from Ed and Lorraine Warren, who had encountered many manifestations of evil and dark forces in their practice. In their repertoire was even the famous Amityville incident, where almost an entire family perished overnight. Soon they concluded that no spirit had possessed the doll. Rather, someone or something pretended as if a spirit had taken residence in the doll. The entity in the doll couldn't inhabit it because it required a human host. The doll was merely used by this entity to convince the girls that they were dealing with a friendly spirit. Psychics determined that the doll, attached to it, was being used by a demon, seeking more. Donna, involuntarily, had given permission for it to stay during a previous session. Apparently, the demon wanted to take over Lou's body, trying to attract his attention with the doll and mentioning him in the notes. Dreams, scratches, and burns are characteristic of early stages of a demon manifesting its intention to possess a human body and continue living in it. An exorcism was performed in Donna and Angie's apartment, after which the Warrens took the doll with them. Donna, Angie, and Lou were finally free from the horror that had haunted them for the past few months. As for Annabelle, the doll is now locked in a glass case at the Warren Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. A sign on the case reads, "Dangerous. Do not open under any circumstances." The entity still resides in the doll, and sensitive individuals continue to feel the malevolence emanating from it. Perhaps the demon, forced to stay in the inconvenient doll body, is still waiting for the right person to visit the museum, someone suitable for it to switch to.